Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Wrestle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Callbacher.
She's like the James Ellsworth of women.
And Cory Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick mixed.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Wrestle Rock. Yay, we're all back home. Everybody's doing well on this Americana weekend. What's going on, everybody?
Happy 4th, folks.
Happy 4th.
They were setting off fireworks in my neighborhood till about 1:30 in the morning, like the big, illegal Johns. I couldn't get a damn wink of sleep.
They're all legal now in Pennsylvania, so it's like it's the first time anybody's actually had access to like fireworks in a very long time. So I think they're going a little overboard with them, but. Hey man, enjoy it because they're fun.
I slept right through all of it.
Really?
Yeah, I went to a family barbecue and I got home at 7, and I just took a shower and went right to sleep.
Well, I live at one of, as you guys know, I live at one of the ground zeros for the Philadelphia when the riots were in Philly. So my neighborhood's always active. So if it ain't cops, it's firemen. If it ain't. So I just sleep through all that now. Fireworks are nothing compared to what I listen to all day.
My dog was going nuts. The fireworks were right outside my window. So not only do you get woken up by this giant boom, but the whole room's lit up and everything else. It's not fun. But whatever, America, I guess.
America.
Man, let them enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, the fireworks at the art museum got canceled, right? So.
Yeah,
everyone decided to do their own thing.
I was bartending right down the street from where they light the fireworks off, and it was kind of sad. It was kind of sad, because I think the last 3 years I've walked down to the art museum and watched the show because I'm only 10 blocks from there. So it's a cake it's just cake. We meet up here, have drinks, and then just walk down and watch it. So it was kind of sad. So I was kind of happy I was just working. But,
so you were sad and happy at the same time?
Well, I made money, which is something I haven't done since pretty much January. With everything going on.
The only cure for sadness right there is just money.
Right.
So, this really sucks, but I'm getting paid for it, so I'm good.
And I can buy
blow your nose on some cat.
I can buy cool redneck hats like this.
Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, man. Going fishing. Summertime in America.
Sorry, I thought this was America.
So I want to get started with what we were just talking about off air, with Drew McIntyre and Conor McGregor going at each other a little bit on Twitter here. This isn't something. I don't think this doesn't sound like it's anything that's a work or anything like that. And there's not really rumors or anything of Conor McGregor coming to WWE, at least not recently. Conor McGregor retired a while back for the third time, I think. He's pulling a Terry Funk, but he tweeted out
he's notorious for retiring.
Notorious, yes, notorious MMA. So he put out on Twitter a picture of him with the WWE Championship, as well as one of the UFC belts on his Instagram, brother. Excuse me. And he captioned it "McMahon versus McGregor CEO Flash Match." And apparently Drew McIntyre got really pissed off about this and fired back. He said, "Big man at the Notorious MMA picking a fight with another 70-year-old. You couldn't drop a guy in a pub. You have no chance against Vince. You're just the latest guy thinking he can have his PR team stick my title on his shoulder and walk into our world. Stick to whiskey, McTapper." Yeah, so that just doesn't sound like something that came out of the WWE creative team, the writers.
Well, like I said earlier, if he's sticking to whiskey, then he's in a lot of trouble because that whiskey sucks. And that's a whiskey drinker on a regular basis. That I guess Jersey City, it's as good as it gets. That's where it's bottled. But I think, like I said, I know Conor McGregor because I'm a big UFC guy, and he likes to do this stuff. He likes to scream out into the void and see who like actually latches on, and then he tries to, like Cory was saying, become relevant again because he tends to retire. What he does is he wears out his welcome, he retires, and he waits. He gives himself enough time where people forget how much of a pain he is, and then he comes back and he starts throwing jabs out. And I guess maybe UFC is just tired of him, so maybe he thinks he can throw his hat in the WWE ring. And I'll tell you right now, Vince would be stupid not to bring him in. I just don't see Drew McIntyre being the guy because Drew's a foot taller than him and 130 pounds easily heavier than him, 120 pounds heavier than him. It would be such a mismatch. And then they would make Conor win, so Drew would look terrible.
Yeah. I mean, they did something similar with the Big Show and Mayweather.
Right.
Yeah, Mayweather's a badass in boxing, but it's like, it's the Big Show, and this isn't a boxing match. So how does Big Show lose? Like, it didn't make much sense.
They had him cheat with brass knuckles. That's how he beat him with brass knuckles. Otherwise, he wouldn't have beat him because Big Show was too much of a task for Conor McGregor. That's why the psychology was that he had to be a cheater to beat him.
And the funniest thing was that was probably one of the biggest times that Big Show was a face in WWE. Everybody hated Mayweather so bad. Like I haven't seen Paul White that over, and I don't know how long. Like, that was a fun program, though. And,
well, have you watched the sitcom?
Oh God, I couldn't get.
Have you watched his Netflix show? He's over there.
I couldn't get through 2 episodes.
I haven't seen it.
It's very exactly what you expect it to be. Like there's nothing exciting, no real angle that you didn't expect it to go down. Like, oh, he's a retired wrestler, and now his daughter has moved to Florida to live with her dad, who's a retired wrestler, and that's exactly everything you expect it to be is going to be that.
If I had kids, it would be a fun little sitcom to watch with them. But as a guy who doesn't have kids, the jokes don't land. I wish them the best. If the show's doing well, that's awesome. But it's just not a show for me. That's all.
It's very laugh track, very canned laughter, low hanging fruit. Like nothing really edgy or funny. Like really that funny. It's just simple. Oh, the husband's a dingbat and the wife is the smart one, and that's every sitcom that there is.
Yeah, well, it's all PC. It's all PC, jokes. So everything's there's going to be no edge to it. There's going to be nothing. But you know what? It's
very safe.
Good for him. To have the show. And if it did well, that's awesome.
I don't know. I can't. I just can't bring myself to watch it. Just people keep on telling me how bad it is, and it just sounds like one of those terrible WB shows from the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, it's like Moesha with the Big Show instead of Brandy.
I think we're also spoiled because we're all older guys, and we're older. With Cory's younger than us, but we're older where we grew up on no PC sitcoms like Married with Children and a lot of shows that pushed the envelope. And then before that, it was intelligent comedies like Seinfeld and Cheers, where the jokes were just more highbrow and funnier. And now everything, because the way culture is right now, it's just sanitized. That's all. But cool, man. Good for him. I'm glad he's doing something that he can transfer over once wrestling's over, because he's just the next guy that Randy Orton's going to demolish until Edge comes back. So, and that's the position he should be in.
Yeah, I'll tell you though that
it's this. Yes.
Sorry. What was the joke going to be there?
Well, the joke was I was gonna say it's the speed bump, but go ahead. Say what you were gonna say.
No, I was just gonna say that the promo on Raw with Orton actually made me want to see that program. It made me want to see that match. Orton is killing it right now with everything. And if it's going to be Orton and Show and at Extreme Rules, and if they can pull this out in 2020, like this definitely sounds on paper, it sounds like a match that we don't need in 2020. But if they can make it work, obviously we're not going to get another Edge versus Randy Orton in this match. But if we get like a really solid match out of these two, I think it's going to be great.
Well, if anything, with Orton should be able to get the best he can get out of Big Show with his limited mobility nowadays. And they've worked together before. They know what they're doing, and they'll figure it out to make the match entertaining.
Yeah.
They are familiar with what the limitations are, so they're going to be able to probably knock it out of the park for what it is. Honestly, I think it's going to be exactly what it'll be. If it's half as good as Orton versus Edge, it'll be really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Randy demolishing the Big Show next, and then we see where it goes from there. Like I don't know who does he turn on Ric Flair after that? Because that's the only legend sitting around. I would do that sooner or later and make Randy look even worse as a bad guy.
You know what they could do? You know what they could do? Just like they did, like when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall left for WCW, and they did like the fake Diesel, fake Razor. They could do that with the Rhodes. They could do that with Cody and a fake Cody Rhodes and a fake Goldust, Stardust and Goldust, and they just have Orton beating the crap out of them. It would be the same exact thing as the smashing the chair or throne or whatever it was. It's like nobody gives a crap, really. You're throwing jabs that what's it doing?
Yeah, they're still throwing those jabs too. So we saw the AEW show.
The name of the Great American Bash was. It didn't need to be there. I mean, the best part about it was the ropes. The best part about it was the red, white, and blue ropes. They need to have that all the time.
I don't know. We could talk about it. I mean, besides Raw, the best thing on Raw was, I think, Bobby Lashley just destroying everybody. I thought that was really well done. I really like how they're building him to be a monster. Because basically, Drew didn't beat him the last match they had. It was Lana came out and messed the match up and cost Bobby the match. So they can still build Bobby up to beat his destroyer. And I almost picked that as
what
my
if they had
who wins wrestling until he lost. Was seeing Ricochet back on television got me excited for like 2 seconds. I was like, oh, he's back. And then he got annihilated.
Cremated. But it was awful.
The American Bash, the first half was okay. Rhea Ripley beating up 2 people at once was kind of corny.
I was gonna bring that up too. How like stupid that was. It was just corny. It was.
She tapped 2 people at once. Like
yeah.
What?
That doesn't look good for Rob Echoes.
No.
Where does it go anyway? 'Cause you're looking at this woman they keep making look like she's this devastating wrestler, and then she got beat by Charlotte Flair. So it's always like Charlotte Flair's that like boss battle, like you used to call him Cory, like boss battle level bad guys where like you just can't get past them like Braun Strowman used to be. But then they're making Rhea Ripley look this strong, but then she still can't beat Charlotte in the end. And it just makes no sense. She literally tapped 2 people out at once with the same move. I don't know.
It was cool. Like it was cool. I thought it was all right. It felt like they just didn't have anything for her, but they don't want to they don't want to shove her right back into the main event and right back into title matches. So they had to keep her strong. And for some reason, the way they thought that they had to keep her strong was to beat 2 people at once. It was like they had literally no other idea than to do that. I don't know. It's like we were talking about last week how NXT creative is kind of dropping lately, and I think this is an example of that.
Go ahead, Corey. I saw you.
Oh, so yeah, I was surprised that they did like the intergender stuff with that. Like, I was surprised that they had stuff going on between male and female. Like, granted, like he didn't get much offense in, but like if he got any in, like I was surprised that they let that happen.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is that you can have an intergender match as long as the man doesn't hit the woman at all. It's like they did the same thing with Asuka and James Ellsworth. It's like you can have that match, but like Ellsworth didn't get in any offense at all, and I think there was like outside interference by a woman, and that's how like they managed to get away with it.
Well, they did the same thing on did the same thing on Raw. They had Sasha Banks strike Drew McIntyre, but neither McIntyre or Ziggler touched either one of the women the entire match. So they do the intergender.
How is that equal? How is that equal though?
I'm not getting it.
I'm thinking real hard about it. I mean, it's not. No one's really punching anyone. It's a work. Like everyone knows that going into it. Like, is he gonna throw a stompy punch and then they're gonna cancel him for it? Is that what's gonna happen? We're gonna go, oh, look at that! Look at back at the footage. He struck a woman. Yes, but she also sold it, and it was all part of the production. It's what we're doing.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a bunch of silliness.
It doesn't really make any sense to me, but I just feel like it's their policy, I guess. Somehow it makes sense to them that like a woman can hit a man, but a man can't hit a woman. Like we can't show that. Like somehow or another, that's domestic violence or something like that. Like that's some kind of sexism or something along those lines.
I'm not worried about it. It's whatever. It's just.
Is your guys' audio skipping a lot, or is that just me hearing it?
You guys are coming through pretty clear for me.
I'm clear.
Oh, okay.
So it might be just your phone might be having issues.
Oh yeah. Can't catch a break today.
Our laptop decided to kill him, so just to die on him earlier. So we had to start the show a little later. And now he's having phone issues as well.
Besides that, man, I wasn't really thrilled with the four-way girls match. I kind of thought Dakota Kai was finally going to get her chance, and then they gave it to Tegan Nox for the title. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really sold on Tegan Nox. I don't think she's as good as everybody pushes her to be. And I guess they're going to extend Mia Yim and what's her name? Why do I always forget her name? The evil pixie.
Candice LeRae?
Candice LeRae. I don't know. Maybe they'll do some more. What's that?
When is Mercedes Martinez coming in?
That's all.
Next week.
Having her.
I'm kind of excited for her to come in because I really like her.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
I've always liked Mercedes. I thought she was one of the best women out there. I'm pissed that it's like taken this long to for anybody to pick her up. Like I think she did some work in Impact, but other than that,
she did Impact, and she had one or two matches in AEW, and then just faded away out of there. Besides that, NXT should never have a strap match again. That was very long and very boring. Like I said, Roderick Strong did his best he could with a really bad storyline and a bad setup. And the main event, I enjoyed the main event because I'm liking that Sasha Banks is getting more TV time. Because I think people need to be reminded of how good Sasha Banks really is. She kind of like faded into obscurity and then became like Bayley's lackey, and it's a shame because how good she is. And she was actually the better wrestler between her and Io Shirai. And
Io Shirai has those like I stand by the fact that like she could be way better, but she, maybe eventually she will be really good, but right now I don't see it.
And I guess they're going to do a thing with Asuka and Io Shirai now that Kairi Sane's done. Supposedly Kairi Sane's going away. I don't know if she's retiring or what, but she's supposed to go back home. She got married, and she hasn't seen her husband since they got married. And it's been almost a year, something like that. So she's going home to spend time with her husband, and there's rumors that she may retire. So her last match on WWE is Nia Jax splitting her head wide open and pinning her. And that's going to be her last match. And
is it just Io's not Io Shirai? Kairi Sane's just not re-signing, or are they getting rid of her?
I think she's not re-signing.
Okay.
I think she's going to end up. There's rumors that she wants to retire. There's rumors that she's just, I guess, because of her size, she's probably taking a beating. And those last couple concussions she suffered from Nia Jax didn't really help what's going on with her.
Yeah. I mean, if they put her in the ring with, like, Liv Morgan or somebody more her speed, more her size, and not put her against Nia Jax, who put her on the shelf goddamn twice, maybe she would be beat up a little bit less. Just saying. Maybe they're getting rid of the wrong girl. That's all I'm saying. Maybe the wrong girl is retiring.
And it's already been said about.
Does anybody remember? What's her name? Kairi Sane in NXT and winning the goddamn Mae Young Classic. Like, she's good. She's really good. And she's retiring now because some talentless hack decided to put her on the shelf twice. It's infuriating. It's goddamn infuriating. How does she's part of job?
Because she's part of the Samoan family. That's why she's got a job.
Can we do like one uncensored show and just get Rick really drunk and then just mention Nia Jax? 50 minutes of gold.
Just be slurring and cursing. That's it.
Well, it's already they kind of dropped the ball when WrestleMania was coming around. They didn't put Kyrie in a big program because she's the Pirate Princess, and they were going to do it in the Tampa Bay Stadium with a giant pirate ship on the side of the stadium, and it was a pirate themed. It was a pirate themed WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it's just. And then Shayna Baszler's on like out of. I don't know what's going on though. I gotta hate WWE anymore. Well, I mean, I want to like it, but like they're killing NXT with NXT, and then Raw, with the exception of Bobby Lashley, was the only thing I enjoyed, and then SmackDown. Then we got to go to that where they had two amazing matches back to back. Oh, should we do the Bash? Did anybody see the Bash? I worked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bash. I watched
Fyter Fest. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I watched that.
So was there anything worth talking about on there?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was.
There's some good stuff. Yeah. I think I think Cody Rhodes and Jack Swagger was really good. It's funny that they embraced it. I didn't know if they embraced this before, but I just noticed they started calling him Rock Hard Jack Swagger or Rock Hard Jake Hager. Like when they announce him, they call him Rock Hard, which is pretty awesome and accurate. Like they should absolutely embrace it. Like, yeah, dude, you just own it. You just own it. That's your name now. But it was weird. It was weird. It was like he must have like forgot his gear or something, because he normally wears like stuff that's like custom to him, but this time it was like he was just like wearing underwear. It was weird. Did you notice that, Rick, or am I nuts?
I didn't watch it. I just saw like clips of it online. I saw like the highlight reels and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Like it was. I'm still not a huge fan of Cody Rhodes. First of all, coming down in the American Nightmare shirt that just looked like it had the
Great American Bash logo. Yeah,
it was the Great American Bash logo. It's like, dude,
Right.
can't you just take it in stride? Can't you just let one go? Like, why do you have to fire back? Now WWE's going to fire back. And
But it was
why
a cool
can't
shirt.
more?
I mean,
WWE fired back. Did you hear how WWE fired back?
No, what they do?
They're trying to trademark the Rhodes name again and take it away from them.
yeah.
And for WWE to say that they're not competition and all this, like, it's all a lie. And they're super petty. And they're super petty about everything. Like, and it's just.
I mean,
You know what they should do at AEW?
What's that?
They should have fake ass ninjas and say samurais, and they're like, look at these samurais. Oh, samurais. And like just make fun of every stupid thing. Have like Viking nerds, like LARPers.
A bunch of LARPers.
Yeah. LARPers and samurais against each other.
Don't they have that one dude who like comes in and drops the giant 20-sided die before he wrestles? And he's now wrestling with the librarian in AEW. He's mainly on AEW Dark, which is the only thing I get to watch with AEW Dark. I bartend Wednesday nights, so I don't, if you want to call it bartending with the plague. Which is basically serving 3 tables a night and trying to live off of it. Yeah, I don't get to see AEW. I just get to see usually NXT. I don't even get to see till like Friday. So, yeah. So I watch AEW Dark, which isn't bad. Taz has been commentating it, which I enjoy. I think Taz is very underrated when it comes to how good of a commentator he was.
I agree.
I'm still trying to get used to what's his name, Excalibur. But he's growing on me. He's not as bad as everybody says he is.
It's weird. In the tag team match for the tag titles that had like the best friends in it, I was like, which I thought was kind of good. Like the match was kind of good. I don't get why they're a team together. I mean, are they best friends or is that just a tag team? And either way, I thought the match was pretty good. But during the match, Excalibur brought up that on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, which nobody watches, he was like, "Oh, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Trent was tagged with Kenny Omega, and they were known as the tag team of Men of Low Moral Fiber." And it's like, okay, we don't care. Like, you're putting over your company that you own on commentary. It's like, how about say on the Indies? On the Indies, they tagged this, so they are a little familiar with each other. You don't have to like go into like, they didn't have to go into where it was and what they were called. Like, it's overkill a little bit sometimes. Like, you can give us information without giving us too much information.
Yeah, well, you know, they're trying to appeal to indie nerd crowd because that's their base, and I guess thinking that would work by throwing out like, you know, like, oh, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, oh, Evolve, oh, this, and like some indie nerds like, I watched that, you know, like because they're like people watch it. You know, don't get me wrong. From what I hear, you know, PWG is supposedly an awesome, you know. They do great things, but I just don't.
Yeah, it's a weird. It's just a weird pandery thing, you know. And I mean, get over what you want to get over, dude. Sure.
I mean,
but
you know,
but the fact. I'm sorry. But the fact that they got driven to the ring, like kind of like how the Revival's been doing with the truck.
Yeah,
they got driven to that by Trent's mom in the minivan, and I thought that was awesome. And then they cut to her in the audience, and she was like, "Yeah!" Like there's Trent's mom, Sue. Thanks, Sue.
I didn't understand that at all. Was that supposed to be I guess that was supposed to be a joke?
Yeah, because they're the kind of friends, friendship with each other that little kids have, and their moms drive them places. I don't know. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. They've been best. I guess when you're best friends when you're kids, and your mom's got to drive you to the movies or to the mall. So I guess they did something in that kind of vibe. That's all it was. Was it good?
Yeah, I mean,
I heard the match was good. You enjoyed that scene, so obviously it worked.
Well, it's weird. Also, okay. So Trent is Trent Beretta, but they don't say Beretta. But Chuck Taylor is Chuck Taylor, and they let him use that name. I don't. They said I think Excalibur said on commentary that Trent lost his last name in a poker game. It's like, can we just give him a different name, or can we like show evidence of that? Like, there's all this time to build character and make all this work. And we don't have to have wrestling every damn week. We can go, okay, well, here's the poker game where Trent lost his last name, or just some sort of character. Make me care why he's just Trent. And he's tagged with a guy who's named after shoes.
Well, the problem with AEW, and I don't know if it's necessarily a problem. They are very social media heavy and video heavy, outside AEW, which is great. But I don't want my entire life revolving around wrestling. So I want to know who the characters are from watching the show, not having to go on all, being the elite and then going on to what's his name's vlog and then going to some other internet thing to get something else. I don't want to do all that. I never did it for WWE too. WWE started trying to do that where they would do backstage interviews and storylines and stuff like that just on WWE.com. I don't watch them. I don't have, we put so much energy into this as it is. And don't get me wrong, I would like to watch more AEW. I just have a job. And there's no way, because I don't have cable right now, there's no way for me to rewatch the show. Because God forbid any of these guys put their show on YouTube after it's over. Instead, I got to watch clips or be in the elite and watch them do really bad jokes for 20 minutes if I actually want to watch the show.
Honestly, yeah, that's what I do. It's who has all this time between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT? That's 6 hours, 7 hours, something like that.
Almost 7.
Yeah, almost 7 hours of TV to watch.
They could use that time. They could use that time to put over that other stuff that they did that didn't make it on TV. Just the stuff that they released randomly through the week. They could use that time with that 6 hours a week of. There's probably more than 6 hours a week of wrestling content that we've got to consume as fans. Can't they just throw all that other stuff that the being the elite stuff or whatever webisodes they're doing or what little promos they do or the character development I for sure want to see that more with WWE than I care to see it with AEW as well, because it's you guys need to take a break either way. It's due time. You just take a little bit of break ski.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to take a break. I wouldn't honestly. I wish there was some way we could do a truce, just have Cody Rhodes and Vince McMahon meet in a ring, a ring that's not a WWE ring or an AEW ring, just in the middle of some neutral zone like Oklahoma or something like that, and they just shake hands and then they part ways, and it's okay, we're gonna be back in a month or two, just chill out. Everybody just chill the hell out. Too much crap going on in the world to have wrestling fighting each other. What the hell?
They should definitely have pandemic panorama or pandemonium, and then have a joint super thing. I was saying that all the companies should get together and try to save wrestling because there's a good chance that we're who knows what's happening? Who knows what's happening after all this stuff happens?
Yeah, that is true.
Well, I mean, it's not bad enough that what do you call it? They have to call Extreme Rules horror show after pretty much everybody's calling what's happening now a horror show. So it's getting a little less and less like, hey, everything's fine. Everything's
They're
fine.
calling Extreme Rules a horror show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was literally the tagline all Monday night was they kept saying horror show after everything. And it was WWE has this really bad habit of like with their corporate like promotions that they have to just shove it down your throat. And it's like, all right, I get it. I don't need to hear the title 8 million times. It's not going to stick in my head.
Buzzwords.
It's not going to stick in my head where I'm like,
Cat bolted.
There's no I have to see because of the name of the show. It's the matches.
That must have been every single time.
What's that?
So what?
I'm sorry. I said that must have been every single time I hit the fast forward button. They must have talked about that.
It was anytime they talked about Extreme Rules. It's like, oh, Extreme Rules horror show. It's like when they used to talk about In Your House. Be like, In Your House, Bad Blood, or Revenge of Taker, or something like that. It's like,
okay.
Extreme Rules is now In Your House. It's a new In Your House.
I'm just done with the pay-per-views. I'm done. I don't even understand why, with no crowds, why they keep pushing pay-per-views every couple weeks or every 3 to 5 weeks, or whatever.
And it's stupid that they're like Fyter Fest and then American Bash. There's the free TV things. Why do we turn a pay-per-view into a pay-per-view if regular TV is also a pay-per-view too? Shut up! Get out of here! Just put out content.
Yeah.
Like, just hit the drums, monkey, and go. We don't care.
Hit the drums, you monkey. Monkey shines that bitch. Oh my god!
I meant to say cymbals, like the little dancing.
I know what you meant,
but yeah.
But I am going to try no matter what. I'm going to see how I can figure this out because I'm really looking forward to the second half of Fyter Fest. I really want to see Jericho Orange Cassidy, and I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm still looking forward to Moxley and Brian Cage. So I'm hoping.
Well, I heard that's going to be like 2 weeks. That's in 2 weeks, though.
Is that 2 weeks now?
They pushed that back. Yeah, they pushed that to like the 16th or the 14th or something. Like it got pushed back some.
Okay.
The 15th, because they're doing right after Fyter Fest, because the night 2 is what, July 8th, and then on the 15th they're doing Fight for the Fallen. Also live on television.
Which I can't really make fun of because I'm a veteran and I know Fight for the Fallen is benefits go to veterans, but it's like another pay-per-view title. It's like awesome. Thank you for. Can we just have AEW? Why do we have to have like a title after everything? Like
Dynamite.
Just do the wrestling show and put a T-shirt on there and be like, if you buy this T-shirt, the 70th Young Buck T-shirt put out this month, like this one goes to veterans. Like kids.
So I think we're going to see NXT Hog Wild pretty soon. July 15th, NXT Hog Wild. Because they got to cut somebody.
Are you kidding? Is that a thing?
No, I'm kidding.
Is that a legit thing? Oh, I was going to say they're going to Sturgis.
It'd be awesome if it was. It's like the hell. Not only are we endangering everybody else, now we're going to bring the quarantine. We're going to bring the COVID to you. It's going to be COVID in your house. It's going to be.
It'll be like an outside motorcycle festival.
So funny enough, I completely forgot about those, and then I was watching old matches, and I can't remember the match I was watching. It came up. I forgot about all the motorcycles, and they would just rev the motorcycles the whole time the guys were wrestling. Yeah. And how annoying that was.
Oh my god, it was so awful.
It was a whole South Park. 3 hours.
There's a thing that like certain events are doing when it comes to like drive-in movie theaters and stuff. Like drive-in movie theaters, like people are doing like stand-up comedy at drive-in movie theaters, where like the people like honk their horn as a way to laugh, or like they're doing like wrestling shows at drive-in theaters. Like that might be kind of cool to do at like WWE or NXT or AEW, to have an event like that. But I think the horns might get annoying to watch that on TV.
Oh my god, yeah, the horns would be so freaking bad. Like, it would be a way to get a crowd, but it would just be like you'd have to have a rule of please don't honk your damn horn. You know, you can roll down, you can crack your window and yell. That's what you can do.
I said, I wish I hadn't seen Ricky on the sidewalk.
All right. We should run down the cards, right? Because we still got night 2s to deal with. We're talking about this next week. Great American Bash. Night 2. Yes.
I definitely say this, though. I will have to say, even by reading the cards and what matches actually went on and watching NXT, I didn't even watch AEW, and I have to say AEW probably won this week with matches. Because I thought WWE's Clash of Champions with the NXT crew was not good. It was not a good show.
It had some parts to it I liked. It was I liked the Sasha match. I liked. I didn't mind the Dexter Lumis Roderick Strong thing. I thought that was okay. It wasn't good as far as crowd matches go. It wasn't that good. It had a few good matches on it.
Like I said, I like the main event. I like the main event because it really got to show how good Sasha is again. Without wrestling in a tag team, she had a straight up match.
Well, they did do a horn honk in that match that almost cost the other girl the match.
Yeah,
that when Bayley was honking that horn, they did incorporate that. What was that? A red, white, and blue Dodge Viper? They incorporated that a couple times on the whole show.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I think everybody tried to forget about that.
Bayley is really good at being annoying, but the bad kind of annoying.
Yeah,
I really can't handle Bayley right now. I can't. But I guess she's doing her job. I guess she's doing it well because every time she comes on the screen, I want to change the channel.
I don't know. I'm digging heel Bayley. I think that she finally found her groove as that annoying, like, I'm better than you type of heel. It's kind of like that Queen Bee in school that's just like, I'm better than you and you're stupid. Like, I'm pretty. People want to be me, and like she has that kind of role now, and it's better than what they were doing. Because when she first turned heel, they had no clue. She had no clue how to act. They had no idea what to do with her. And she finally found that role. Like putting her with Sasha Banks, I think, really put her in that. You know, we're ruling the school right now. Like,
well, I think her having Sasha next to her, she's more comfortable doing things because she's got one of her best friends sitting next to her. So I think it's easier for her to be a knucklehead and do a bunch of dumb stuff like she's doing because she can just do it to try popping Sasha, and then she gets all, it helps her be like, the heel that she's trying to be. I can't deal with it.
Oh man. Yeah, so let's go down these cards real quick. We'll run them down, see what we got on store for NXT and for AEW this week. Great American Bash, we got Breezango and Drake Maverick versus the Phantasma group. It was a Legado del Fantasma or whatever they're calling themselves now. The Cruiserweight champion. So we got 6 tag.
The promo that they did on NXT was really good. I liked their little promo. I thought like that this is the way a good presentation is made. I really dug it a lot.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the whole Phantasma thing. Once he took the mask off and he was the one kidnapping people out in the parking lot and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of weird, but this is starting to be something enjoyable, I think.
It should be
him like.
There's not a bad wrestler out of all 6 of them. I mean, so if they, I don't see it being a long match, but I see it being a really good match. Like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 at tops. Yeah, I think it'll.
Sorry, go ahead. What?
I think it'll end up opening the show on Wednesday. I could see them open.
Yeah, I think it should. We also got Gargano versus Scott, man. Swerve and Mr. Wrestling over here, Johnny Wrestling. I think this is going to be a great match. I really like Swerve, man. I'm really digging him. They haven't really done much with him these past couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to this match.
This is going to be good, depending on how much time you get. And I think both guys are super talented, and this could be a really good match. It just depends who they decide to have win. That's the whole thing. Like, I think Swerve really needs a big win because he kind of looked like a chump in the cruiserweight like round robin they were doing. So I don't know. I hope he does well. It should be a fun match, though.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, want to comment real fast on that Phantasmo thing. Rockstar Spud came out. I was watching that with Grey Wolf, and he was like, "What? Why is Beavis out there?" He thought that Rockstar Spud or Drake Maverick looked like Beavis. And I think that I'm never gonna not look at him and see Beavis now that Grey Wolf has said that.
I can see it. I can totally see that. Next matchup, we got Mia Yim and Candice LeRae in a street fight. I guess they're continuing the feud from last week.
Don't care.
It's a street fight. It should be pretty good.
Can I say something that might feel like it's a jerky thing? And I don't mean to be a jerk to these women because I really like them.
Sure.
I feel like once I've seen one of their matches, I've seen all of their matches. Like it's weird. It's like they're not doing anything I haven't seen before, and it's not as interesting as it should be. Like there should be a way that I'm caring more than I do. Personally, Mia Yim's a friend of mine, but I feel like if I've seen one of her matches, I feel like I've seen them all. Is that weird?
Are you just talking about?
Is that just me?
Well, are you just talking about Mia Yim and Candice LeRae, or are you talking about every woman in NXT?
It might be every woman in NXT, but I don't feel that way about Rhea Ripley. It's just weird. It seems like there's like an upper level of NXT that I feel like, oh yeah, they're real good, and then like a level below that makes me go like, why am I not caring more?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. It's not that I don't care. I still watch the matches and I still think they're good, but I agree with you that it's getting kind of stale. Like we've seen it before. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think that's why you put on a match like this in a street fight, so you can see something different. I don't think they're going to stick to the ring and just be like, "Oh, we're going to hit each other," or not take advantage of the count out or something like that. Like they're going to be fighting outside the ring and brawling. I hope that's what they're going for.
I don't care.
I will maintain my stance on NXT and WWE's women's division is way better than AEW's, hands down.
Oh, definitely.
I can't understate it. So, like, if it sounds like I'm crapping on these women, I'm not. But like the women's, I mean, they're still head and shoulders above what AEW is doing with their women's division.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
I'm sure you're excited to see Tegan Knox and Io Shirai then for the also next week for the women's championship. So that's probably going to be along the same lines for you then. So we got 2 women's matches to look forward to and report to you next week. But we also have Adam Cole and Keith Lee in the winner take all match. So that's the one I'm really, really looking forward to. I really hope that's going to live up to my expectations.
I'm thinking,
that's probably the one that most people are looking for most forward to.
I don't see any match topping this. I mean, maybe a match in AEW, but I don't see WWE having anything that's going to beat this match, quality wise or for me excitement wise. I'm really excited for this match. So, I mean, it may not be on my face because I'm still getting over the Mia Yim match. It just sapped all the energy out of me. But yeah, I'm actually.
Let's talk about AEW for a little bit here. We got Lance Archer is taking on Joey Janela with Jacob Stick Roberts in his corner there. We got who is this? Rose and to be determined. So I don't know who Rose is going to be facing here, but she's going to be on the card. Still don't have an opponent for her, which is kind of weird. Jericho versus Cassidy. This is going to be like super weird. You all know my thoughts on Orange Cassidy.
I'm excited.
Yeah, honestly, I'm starting to come around on him a little bit. So we'll see. This I think will be my turning point on whether or not I care about Orange Cassidy enough. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Fyter Fest Night 2, turning point.
We got Colt Cabana in the Dark Order versus SoCal Uncensored.
Hopefully they continue the storyline with Colt Cabana in the Order, and they don't make Colt turn on him so quickly.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's another 6 talented guys. That's going to be a pretty solid match. Wait, is it Evil Uno or is it one of the other guys in the Dark Order?
I have no idea. Oh, I know Brody Lee's in it.
Maybe 5. It might be 5 talented guys.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. It's all like I said. It's all depending on who they put in that match, and we'll see what happens. Here's one that kind of blows my mind a little bit. We got FTR versus the Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade. Why are the Butcher and the Blade in this match? I do not like them. I want to see FTR versus the Young Bucks. That's all I want to see. Why the Butcher and the Blade in this match?
Because this is how they get to stall for their inevitable
eventual one-on-one. Yeah.
Yeah. So they throw the Butcher and the Blade in there. Butcher and Blade are going to lose the match. And we still don't get to see that one-on-one confrontation between these 2 tag teams yet. That's all it is. And it should be a good match. But
yeah,
I'm not yet.
I
watched. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You watched what?
No, I was saying I watched FTR's first match in AEW against the Butcher and the Blade. Like, it's just a regular tag match, and it was really good. It was really good. I give them mega loads of credit. I'm not sure if I'm sold on the Butcher guy yet, but like he's just some bass player guy. Like he's already famous from some. He's just famous from being in some band, and now he's a wrestler. Okay, like
did not notice.
Whatever.
Did not notice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well. I don't know. Maybe you guys host a wrestling radio show. I don't know. Maybe you should do some research.
I don't host a music show. Dang it.
No, my girlfriend's a big metalhead. Like you guys don't have metalhead girlfriends like me, who hosts a metal show.
I'm looking it up right now.
We're going to find out. But the last match on the card is Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus Private Party. So I don't know where all this is going to fall on the card. I got to imagine Jericho and Cassidy are main event, but that's probably, right before it. Double main event type of thing.
I see Jericho to show out. If
Yeah.
Mox closing, I see Jericho. I don't think the Butcher and the Blade are closing out.
No.
They should definitely feed somebody to Brian Cage to lead up to this Moxley match, like on night 2 of Fyter Fest. It should
Well, the
be
Moxley-
a feeder.
The Moxley thing is getting pushed back to the Fight for the Fallen show because he's still.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Right, I was saying they should before that match, they should have him have a match with somebody who he can have a good match with, instead of just going like, oh, he's just gonna bump somebody and throw some little guy through a thing, like he's just gonna throw this. It's like, dude, why are you getting a shot at the championship against Jon Moxley when all you've done is just bump little people? Like, make him a credible person.
Yeah.
If they can do that on night 2 of Fyter Fest, then it might make more sense for him to get a championship match at the Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah, put him against Luchasaurus or somebody that's like a real big crowd favorite, and then if he beats him, like that's huge. That's huge for Fight for the Fallen.
Dude, AEW's.
He's a rhythm guitarist for a band I've never even heard of. Every time I
Say the name of the band.
every time I
Yeah, they're a popular band.
no, they're
Are
not.
they?
I work in music. I've never heard of them.
Oh,
I think it's just your girl taking a jab at you. You know, metal's
What's
awesome. Wrestling. I think your girl's just taking a jab at you that metal's awesome and wrestling sucks because she hates wrestling.
Yeah, that could be a part of it. That could be a piece. That could be a real big puzzle piece. Now that I'm thinking about it.
It's a metalcore post-hardcore band. Probably
Well,
like
I for sure have heard the name of. I for sure have heard of them. I've never listened to them.
no.
Whatevs.
I think it's about that time we shine a spotlight on one person, guys. Who is going to win wrestling this week?
Who wins wrestling? Blah, 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 blah.
Cory, let's start with you, man. Who wins wrestling this week?
I'm gonna say Chris Jericho. That the build towards the match with Orange Cat. Okay, on top of the build, him on commentary has been fun. I think it's been really good. I like that he keeps calling everything meat and potatoes. I think that's funny. I don't know what I mean. It really feels like something an old man would say, but like, I get it. Sure, yeah, meat and potatoes. Everything's meat and potatoes. And the thing with the big sack of oranges. Oh, that's probably just like so gross. The ring was probably so sticky, and being Orange Cassidy being so sticky, and then like Jericho took a big bite of an orange and spit it on him, and then threw the orange at him. It was like, ugh, that's probably disgusting.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed his feud, and Orange Cassidy's like the largest merch seller I heard in AEW right now. So he's as close to being like really, really big. So I think this is the match that gets Orange Cassidy to that next level, and I'm excited for it. I'm actually really excited for this match because that's all Jericho's doing. Jericho just keeps making stars. He takes a guy that none of us know from the independents, and he makes him somebody, and it's awesome. I love it. He's basically taking what wrestlers were supposed to do of all these years. You're supposed to, when you're the old guy, you're supposed to take the new kid and turn them into somebody, and he's doing it, and he does it right, and he still makes himself look great in the process.
Very true. So, Mark, who do you got for this week?
It was tough, man. It was either I was juggling Bobby Lashley or Sasha Banks because I thought both of them had great showings this week. But I'm gonna go with Sasha. she is probably the most underrated female wrestler at the time right now because it's not her fault. It's because WWE does not wrestle on television. To have that one-on-one match on Wednesday and show that she's still in that league of the Charlottes and all the other world champions are out there. I think her and Asuka are the two best female wrestlers that WWE has. And I guess this slow burn of her turning on Bayley, when it finally does hit, it's going to be pretty awesome. And like I said, she had a great match on Wednesday, and she had two really good showings on Monday and Friday. Just more of her gimmick, and she was in the ring with Asuka and Drew McIntyre on Monday. So I see her as right now the best wrestler I saw this week.
I think so too.
Can I give somebody who I thought was at number 2? But I'll let you go first. Who do you think wins wrestling?
I'm gonna go with Timothy Thatcher. He was
Oh, what a great match! I forgot about that match. Was awesome.
Yeah, Timothy Thatcher was in that match with Oni Lorcan on the Great American Bash, and that match was fantastic. And he just looks like a
It was a good match.
Yeah.
How good is Oni Lorcan and gets no? Dude, he's so
He
good.
gets no credit. He gets no credit at all. Hopefully, somebody sees that very soon that they're sleeping on somebody, and it's really got to change. Because damn, man, like Oni Lorcan's very good, but Tim Thatcher, man, just as soon as he won and he picked himself up and he just gave that smile and he's missing that tooth, he just looked insane. So he has like that weird personality where he's quiet and he's like just I don't know, insane somehow. Just that weird quiet personality where he's like, I'm going to beat the crap out of you in at any time I want to. He's just had that weird thing. So I don't know. I'm digging him a lot.
Yeah, it looked like they had an issue when they tagged him up with Riddle. They didn't know what to do with him because of how he's not a bland personality, but he's so different from WWE's boisterous characters. And it looked like it took him a little bit, but now they figure out what to do with him. And I think that match was a really good jump off point for Timothy Thatcher. And like I said, Oni Lorcan was a perfect guy to have him go in there and chain wrestle and just a lot of hard hitting and submission chain wrestling, which you don't get to see a lot anymore in WWE. It was really good match.
Cory, who was your number 2?
John Morrison, dude.
Whoa,
he really showed me something in his match with Riddle. I think I don't think Riddle. I just don't. I've been saying it forever. I don't see it. I don't get it with Matt Riddle. And them giving him that promo time was whatever. But the performance that John Morrison put on with Matt Riddle was dude, he doesn't need to be with The Miz. Do something else with him. He's underrated. Look how good he is. And that match really, really proved it. And I would say if I didn't say the first person, I would have said John Morrison. I would have said Chris Jericho.
That weird, almost power bomb where he spun Matt Riddle on his head. And what was that? Because I don't get the John Morrison thing. I don't get why WWE sleeps on that guy. They had him for years and did nothing with him. They have him again. They're doing nothing with him. I don't get it. I think you put him with
definitely more than just an accessory to The Miz.
I think you put him with a smoking hot valet, like he used to be. But because sometimes Morrison has a little trouble talking, but you put someone to talk for him and let him just do everything else in the ring and do a little bit of talking. You're easily looking at what, U.S. champ at least. A good U.S. champ run too.
Yeah. Bless you. That was the problem with him last time. Was Vince just kind of ran out of basically what's happening with Ricochet right now is he just doesn't see the value in him whatsoever. So now we still have John Morrison, and occasionally he's in singles matches, but right now he's pretty much like the Miz's sidekick, the Miz's tag team partner, and that's where he's going to be for a while, I guess.
I'll never understand any of it. I can't. I don't understand it.
I think that they should do an angle where Morrison's like, "Yo, how come you don't get me spots on these shows? You got this Cannonball show now. You got this other reality show. How come you don't get me? How come you don't hook me up?" And then like they turn on each other and have a little program. How come when we're out here talking about how we're in movies, we don't ever talk about my indie movies that were really fun? How come we don't talk about that? And then Mrs. like, come on, we know those don't count. That's why I told you to not mention them. I wouldn't, like have it go back like they're.
I honestly thought that's what they were doing. I thought when they brought Morrison back and he was tagging with the Miz. I thought it was like because that's all WWE does as it is. They always put
nostalgia pop.
The nostalgia pop. They're singles. They're both individual singles wrestlers. You have them as a tag team. One turns on the other, and then John Morrison, would have been big again. And I mean, I don't get it. Like the guy is so unbelievably talented. He did that cartwheel into a power bomb, like suplex or whatever. It was nuts.
He like countered a superplex into almost a Spanish fly arm drag motion, and then did a standing Spanish fly right after that, and it was like, well, yeah, most people aren't doing stuff like that. Maybe take notice. Can you imagine a John Morrison versus AJ Styles in a singles program for the Intercontinental Championship? That'd be cool.
Well, we didn't even talk about that. He wrestled Gulak right after that Matt Riddle match, and
right after
AJ did something I haven't seen him in a while. He hit Gulak with a power bomb right into the Styles Clash, and then propped Gulak on the ropes, and then forced him to take a phenomenal forearm. It was it was so dope, and Gulak is so good. As I was saying, SmackDown, the first two matches, and then the rest of the show was like, meh. And he was like, dude, they just came out the gates so hot. and then, dude, let's take it to the swamp. Like right afterwards. It's like, all right, I'm done. I don't want to watch SmackDown anymore.
Yeah, I think in the ring, Barron Corbin's improving every time. He doesn't have a bad match, but I don't see why he has a problem with Matt Riddle. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I don't care. I think what it is Corbin's one of the only legit heels they have. So when they want to get a face over, they just all right, we'll put him in a program with Corbin. Why? Well, Corbin, nobody likes him. And then they'll like the other guy better. And it's like, yeah, that's great, but give it a reason other than Matt Riddle walked by him once and that all of a sudden now they're in a program. It makes no sense. And now the way
Corbin, because he's king, he can make anybody wrestle the guy he doesn't like for him. What? I don't get any of that either.
Some sort of authority. Yeah. And this makes no sense. Kind of similar to how Mark said that Lana was the James Ellsworth of women. Yeah. Baron Corbin is the Vickie Guerrero of men.
He very much is.
If he screamed "excuse me" once, that would be the greatest thing ever.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. All right, guys. I think we got to wrap it up and take it home here. Mark, do you have anything to plug before we go?
Can't really talk about any of my jobs because, COVID and unemployment and all the other fun stuff. But I'll let you guys know once everything's legal because if you know anything about the restaurant business right now, it is really a mess with everything going on right now. So just everybody stay safe, wear your masks, and tip people nice when you go to restaurants because a lot of people are treating us like garbage out there, and we're risking our health to hand you a cheeseburger. So that's all I can say.
Dude, be supportive of your food service workers for sure. Get out there, and,
I'm super kind to everybody, man. If I go to a store, even because I had to buy clothes for my new job, Like, I'm super nice to the counter people because they're stuck there making like what, $9 an hour to sell me a pair of shorts that I need for a pop-up garden I'm working at. Like, dude, just take care of people, man. Like we're out there giving you what you want when we should be all home and stay safe too. So yeah. And then, go watch all the wrestling that I miss while I'm working.
Cory, what do you got to plug?
I was a guest this week on the Stew Pot, Lou Marconi's podcast, episode 12, and we talked about the speaking out movement. We talked about probably one of the most personal interviews I've ever given anyone. So check that out on you go on Spreaker or on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the channels. I'm going to be on this afternoon. I'm going to be on the 2300 podcast, which is about wrestling, of course, probably about Philly wrestling.
Is that because of is that because of the 2300?
Yeah, because of the name of that building. But check that out. I got new episodes of my podcast coming out every Monday. Tomorrow, my episode that I recorded with Danny Cage of the Monster Factory will drop of Evolving with Cory Castle. That'll come out at noon tomorrow. Check out, I did the last episode was with Joe Garifo, the Philly filmmaker. And man, I'm just continuously that's what's funny. Like why I was so pissed off when you guys got on the line with me today is because like my laptop going out is like the absolute thing to not be happening right now because I have a couple things scheduled to record tomorrow because I get back tomorrow from my first day of training at my new job ski. Pro wrestler turned high school bus driver.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Love the fact that I've been driving trucks for 20 years. You're stepping in and you're immediately going to be making more money than I am. That's fantastic.
I'm cutting in line, man.
God damn, you just jumped right in front.
That worked, man.
We got.
Oh,
the other thing I was going to say, I say it every time, but sincerely, if you like this show, if you're subscribed to Rick's YouTube channel, you're watching us, great. If you're liking what you see, awesome. Let us know you exist. Leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe to Rick's channel because he's got new wrestling videos coming out every single day. Make sure you subscribe to however you listen to the podcast. If you listen to it on Spreaker or Stitcher or that's not Spreaker, but if you listen to it on iPod, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, wherever you might get your podcast. Make sure you throw us one of those ratings and reviews too. I mean, we like to know that people are digging it because, dude, we're all in this together, kind of thing, and it seems like we could use some more love. So help us out and give us some love. Thanks.
Well, Cory plugged my YouTube channel, so I'll plug his. Go to youtube.com/Cory Castle, and you can see all the evolving episodes that are up so far. But yeah, check out my YouTube channel, man. It's full of Wrestle Rock videos like this one, and it's full of independent pro wrestling with a whole bunch of challenge videos and sketch comedy and all kinds of stuff on there. So that's tinyurl.com/YouTube Rick Connor. If you like this podcast and you want to buy some merch for it, check out teespring.com/stores/wrestle-rock. And all kinds of stuff on there is T-shirts and all kinds of things. And everything, all proceeds are donated to charity, which is very, very cool. Check out my other podcast that I do with Mark's sister, Karen. It's called It's Something to Do. It's a pop culture podcast. We do new pop culture, old pop culture, TV shows, movies, what have you. So check that out. You can find that wherever you listen to podcasts. And that will about do it for this episode of Wrestle Rock. I'm Rick Connor.
Mark Hawbacher.
Cory Castle.
We're also promoting hats and headphones, I guess. Let's take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Frank.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Wrestle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.